Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at how the physical full power Broly does in the Metal Cooler core red zone. To be honest with you, it's a very tough red zone. The first phase is not too bad. Generally speaking, it can cause issues as the chance of Metal Cooler dropping a couple multiple supers. There's always quite a few things happening. It can be relatively difficult. One thing I will point out though is that firstly, Broly is on a very good team. So Broly's 200% lead is the full or final form final form Cooler, Strength Cooler, LR, very good unit, 200% lead for Broly. The rest of the team is also incredibly strong. So Broly's got the 200% lead, one of the strongest leads in the game, with a very strong team that has two of the best defensive units in the game, in the form of AGL Frieza and AGL Frieza. And so, to be honest with you, Broly's got a really nice setup to be really good in a couple red zones. I think I'd like to highlight this red zone. One, I think it plays to Broly's strengths, because Broly's obviously physical type, and his defense is really good after he supers, which stands for both of his forms, his full power form and his base form. So I wanted to see firstly how he'd cope in this situation where he, necessarily is without an item in the int phase, which can cause problems. It's important that he tanks well during this phase. And then secondly, it's interesting to see how well he handles Metal Cooler core. Now, one thing about Broly doesn't need necessarily links to cause damage. So it's one nice thing with Broly. His links do help him, but barring getting Berserker when you're low on health, the links don't make him. Berserker's great, people would love to get it, but this does require you to be below 50% health, which generally people aren't. So Broly's really good from that perspective. And then secondly, Broly's actually also incredibly strong in terms of damage. He can fire up to 4 super attacks in his transform state. He can crit. He's very solid. So there's a lot that's going on with Broly, which I think is really good. And yeah, overall he can get decent defense. Now, a lot of that is dependent slightly on super attacks, on getting super attacks. But he should be able to tank normals, I believe, with 2 or 3 super attacks. I have a Broly with 2 dupes in him, so I believe it's only 2 super attacks, which should be relatively easy for Broly to get. Now, is Broly worth bringing over other units? Potentially not, especially with such a strong team like LR Coolers. But I do believe Broly is definitely a usable unit if you're looking at running him on a team adjacent to this one. He can fit on quite a lot of teams. He's on movie bosses, Pure Saiyans, Transformation Boost, Super Saiyans, Gifted Warriors, Power Beyond Super Saiyan as well, and he can fit on these teams relatively decently. So I think more than welcome to bring him onto these teams, Pure Saiyans as well. So I think at the end of the day there is that viability with him. Is he gonna do huge damage? Yes, and that's the thing. Broly doesn't, like I said, need his links to do huge damage. You're gonna see Broly really do good damage in both turns that he's out. So for the first turn, we're going to be activating a Whis, just so that we can see him tank with an item. I think it's always important to see how units tank with and without items. So you'll be seeing him tank with an item here. A very good setup for him. We use the AGL Golden Frieza kind of as this big buffer, just allows basically to have a unit that can just absorb that frontal damage, really allow Broly to be in his best position of getting his defense off, getting those multiple supers off. And like I said, you don't need a lot of links to make Broly work, and he does get some links from Golden Frieza. You know, Broly gives his own key to himself, so you don't need any kind of key links or anything like that. And I think he does get prodigies from Frieza, which is pretty good, and Fierce Battle, so that's kind of okay. And you can see straight away decent damage right off the bat. Yeah, good damage, follow up super attack, very, very solid. So Broly's got 2 super attacks in already. Defense will be relatively high at this point as well. Nice damage, a full bar of health, very good, and he does a 3rd little additional attack there. So very, very, very solid, actually. Now, obviously, next turn we're hoping for the quadruple super attack. That'll be very, very important for Broly. I'm also going to be holding back slightly on... I mean, you could see how much damage Cooler took there with a Whis active with type advantage. So, yeah, the thing is Broly is there as a unit. You know, he does do well. He gets up to speed very quickly. Here we're going to just kind of try to get through this turn without dying, which should be easy with a Whis still active. A lot of our units have type advantage, can get some crazy high defense. Janemba has guard, so there's nothing I'm too concerned about here. I actually am trying to avoid killing Cooler. You could, if you went whole hog with the key here, you could actually end up killing Cooler quite substantially. So yeah, just try to play it cool, basically, cause some damage, but not really do anything too crazy. Like I said, we want to have Broly take on a turn, and we need the boss to actually have health to do so. So yeah, playing it cool. Now we've got no item active. Now we get to see how well Broly tanks supers in this situation. So Broly's going to tank a normal and a super here, which is perfect. We've got no Whis active, everything good, no support on the rotation, which is possibly the only detrimental thing right now. But other than that, we don't need too much support. It's good to see without support as well. So yeah, Broly first super, 6.2 million, super duper solid attack stat. Not going to do a lot of damage without crits, but still very nice to see. So there you go, first big attack stat, very awesome. Follow up attack stat, also very, very good. So this is about 12 million in damage so far, which is great. Boom, that's a whole bar of health gone. Another 3rd super attack, very, very good. Fires off another one. I think this one's also a crit, so now we're up to just over 19 million, which is great. And then we get a 4th one as well, so over 26 million in total attack stats. I believe this one is also, no, this is not a crit. Yeah, so 2 crits and 26 mil, single digit damage on normals, absolutely incinerated by a super attack. But I think that kind of tells you everything you need to know about Broly. His defense was around 600k there, which is really, really good. It's just that he can't survive a super. But to be fair, Gogeta without the evasion wouldn't survive the super either. I just think it's that Gogeta has that capability within him. But Broly did a very good job, very happy with him. And yeah, overall, I would have to say really, really solid. You can definitely use him. And that's going to be it from me. Bye.